Hello, it's 10 a.m. Friday, the 6th of August here in Seoul, South Korea. You're watching Arirang News. I'm Oh Seong filling in for Kim Morgan. Our top story this morning, South Korean health officials have decided to extend the current social distancing measures for another 2 weeks. And this comes as the country's daily infections are hovering around 1,500 for the past week. For more on this, we have our Kim Sung-min on the line. Sung-min, tell us more about this decision.
The government announced that the current measures will remain as they are for 2 more weeks. That means the capital area will stay under the highest distancing level 4, with level 3 applied to most areas across the nation. A ban on social gatherings of more than 3 people after 6 p.m. will also remain in the Greater Seoul area. The decision comes as the government tries to contain the virus, especially with more people expected to travel around the country during the summer vacation season. Here's the reason given by the Prime Minister regarding the extension.
There is an alternative holiday for National Liberation Day next week, which could accelerate the spread of the virus. And also it is very important to provide a safe environment for our children to study at school for the upcoming second semester.
However, while there were no significant changes made, the Prime Minister said small adjustments will be implemented to shore up loopholes that have been identified over the past month. Details on this will be released later today. South Korea reported 1,704 new cases on Friday. A growing proportion of virus cases in the country are occurring outside the Seoul area, now accounting for 38% of the new infections. Soo-young?
US biotech firm Moderna says its COVID-19 vaccine remained 93% effective against the virus in the 6 months after the second dose. However, the company believes that a booster shot will still be necessary prior to the winter season to contain the spread of the Delta variant. The findings were released on Thursday prior to Moderna's earnings call, where the company also said its booster shot candidates generated a robust immune response against the Delta variant in a phase 2 study. The nation's health minister laid out a blueprint for strategies needed to become a worldwide vaccine hub and strengthen global efforts to ramp up production around the world. Choi Min-jung tells us more.
The nation's health minister, Kwon Duk-chul, held a briefing on Thursday, addressing the specific plans to turn South Korea into a global vaccine powerhouse. First, the government says it will boost the production of domestically made vaccines. This will be done by injecting $145 million in financial support for phase 3 clinical trials this year. Currently, 7 South Korean companies are in the process of developing a COVID-19 vaccine. SK Bioscience is set to be the first to undergo phase 3 clinical trials in August, with aims to commercialize the vaccine in the first half of next year. Vaccines that are given the green light to proceed to the final trial stage will be available for pre-purchase. And to help more companies enter phase 3 more quickly, the time taken to reach clinical approval will be reduced by half. South Korea will also put more emphasis on recruiting test participants by offering certain incentives, including discounts on cultural activities. Authorities say they will also actively promote the development of domestic mRNA vaccines. This comes as Samsung Biologics is planning a trial production of the Moderna vaccine starting at the end of August. Currently, the company is under a consignment production deal with the U.S. drug maker. Meanwhile, South Korea is also looking to strengthen cooperation with international bodies by participating in the World Health Organization's Vaccine Technology Transfer Hub. The country will also cooperate with the Asian Development Bank to build production bases in developing countries. It will also promote exports of local vaccines by providing financial support. Although South Korea is currently the 9th largest vaccine producer in the world, authorities believe that it's possible to reach the goal of becoming the 5th largest if these strategies are put into place. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
South Korea in June posted a current account surplus for the 14th straight month, led by strong auto and chip exports. The Bank of Korea said on Friday that the country recorded a current account surplus of $8.85 billion in June, up more than 23% on year. The surplus for the first half of this year amounted to $44.3 billion, 133% higher than in the same period last year, when South Korea suffered a drop in outbound shipments amid the pandemic. Exports of automobiles and chips in June increased and auto parts by 75% on year, while semiconductors rose more than 33%. South Korea's security officials held a meeting Thursday to discuss developments on the Korean Peninsula following the restoration of inter-Korean communication channels last week. The session was chaired by National Security Office Director Hoon, who pledged further efforts to maintain stability on the peninsula, as well as achieve denuclearization and lasting peace. On Wednesday, Director General of Korean Peninsula Peace Regime Bureau at Seoul's Foreign Ministry, Im Gap-soo, met his American counterpart Jung Pak in Washington. They had in-depth talks on ways to realize an early resumption of dialogue with Pyongyang to make progress on inter-Korean ties. CNN says US intelligence agencies have been scouring a giant catalogue of genetic information secured from China's Wuhan lab in an effort to discover the origin of the novel coronavirus. Our Kim Yo-sun has more.
Washington's intelligence agencies have reportedly secured a vast amount of genetic data from China's Wuhan Institute of Virology, which they have been analyzing. Quoting multiple sources, CNN reported Thursday that it's unclear exactly how or when the U.S. was able to gain access to the information, which could be key to identifying the origins of COVID-19. It explained that one possible way was through hacking, as such genetic data from viruses are usually connected to external cloud-based servers. It stressed that translating this raw data into usable information is the challenging part. There's also a manpower issue requiring experts in the field who can speak Mandarin. Officials say such information could be crucial to unlocking the mystery behind how the virus jumped from animals to humans, which could ultimately determine whether COVID-19 leaked from the lab or was transmitted to humans via animals in the wild. In late May, President Biden ordered U.S. spy agencies to carry out a 90-day investigation on the origin of the virus. And this deadline could possibly be extended if Washington cannot uncover what CNN described as a, quote, smoking gun. Earlier last month, CNN reported that senior Biden administration officials now believe that the so-called lab leak theory is at least as credible as the possibility that it emerged naturally in the wild, adding that this is a major shift from a year ago when Democrats publicly downplayed that theory. Kim Yo-sun, Arirang News.
US President Joe Biden has signed a decree allowing thousands of Hong Kong residents with expiring visas to stay in the US for an additional 18 months without fear of removal. On Thursday, the order was signed and a statement was released by the White House, saying it provided a safe haven from China's ongoing repression in the region. This comes after President Biden on Wednesday directed the Department of Homeland Security to provide working visas to the Hong Kong residents. The latest measures are a response to China's national security law imposed in Hong Kong in June 2020, which led to the arrests of politicians and activists. Team Korea's women's volleyball team will face world number 2 ranked Brazil in the semi-final at 9 p.m. on Friday. South Korea ranks number 11 in the world, so the match will likely be a hard-fought battle for the Koreans. However, Team Korea has already overcome the odds during their Olympic journey, including a victory against Turkey in the previous stage. Captain Kim Young-kyung and her teammates will face either the US or Serbia on Sunday if they can get past Brazil. South Korea will have its final chance to pick up a medal in table tennis in the next hour as the men's team face Japan in the bronze medal match. Team Korea have made it to the semi-final stage in 4 straight Olympics, but last time in 2016 in Rio, they left without a medal. That said, they will be doing their very best to end the drought by winning this match against the host nation. In their second Olympic baseball semi-final, South Korea suffered defeat at the hands of the United States 2-7 on Thursday. Starting pitcher Lee Ri's quality performance of 9 strikeouts and 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched was met with limited support from his country's batting lineup before the bullpen gave up 5 runs in the 6th inning. The reigning Olympic champions will face off against the Dominican Republic for the bronze medal on Saturday. Korea was aiming to defend their title against Japan in the final, who they had lost to in their rival matchup on Wednesday. That's all the news we have for you at this hour, but Arirang News will be back at 12 p.m. Korea time with Mark Broom with updates on these stories and more. Until then, goodbye.